So, Erin, welcome back. Erin, I'm here with Erin again. Erin, we figure we're actually out here doing a shoot, Erin doing some tutorials and some lighting. Figured that we'd spend a few minutes just kind of talking through, interacting, Erin, between interactions between the photographer and the model. Yeah. So, today, right, we had a concept of coming into it. I had a pretty good mood board. Erin, communication before that shoot is kind of key, right?
Yeah.
Whoever is the one initiating should have a pretty good idea and I always feel like I need to be very communicative prior to. So, Erin knows when she comes in here, what are we going for? What's the goals? What type of wardrobe are we looking at? How should I do my hair, my makeup?
And a thorough board is, you can never be too thorough. Like, Tim's been great in the past and even now, like, what's the site called?
Milanote.
On there, it's like there's images to follow as well as a description. So that helps the model know what to bring to set or what to prepare prior to coming. So I think always being extra prepared is better than being underprepared on both ends too. Like, models, make sure that you're all well done before the shoot, and the photographers or whoever initiates it, make sure the idea will
well thought through, right?
Yeah, well thought through.
and if it's a collab, right? Or you both can put into things, right? And Milanote is a kind of a dedicated project planning, software, and you can give people access to it, and they can, collab, and they can add images or color coordinates or notes, and you can put everything right in there if you want to do a
and the location.
And the location with the address and the times and everything else, and it's very nice, right? And there is a free version of that, but even things like I was using Canva for a while, right? And dropping stuff in there before I got that other software, and I've seen models use Pinterest before, like when we were doing collabs, right? And someone might put together a whole bunch of ideas and themes, things they like, and then when I'm going to meet them, for an idea that they might have had, now I know, okay, what lights to bring, and what sort of equipment do I need to bring, what to kind of expect, what vibe are they going for, right? Yeah,
Pinterest is great. That was my go-to for the longest time.
And then once you get on the set, right, the other thing that I kind of wanted to kind of go through today is, just the back and forth, right? And once you get the model in front of the camera, or you get behind your camera and you start taking some photos, one thing I always like doing is after about 4 or 5 shots, after I get my lighting right, invite the model over and say, hey, Erin, come see what we got, all right? Erin, what do you think? Erin, get some feedback.
I think communication on set is really big. Boundaries on set is very big. Really, I think there's so many things that can be encompassed under that umbrella. Like he said, like general feedback, I think that also helps both parties. You want a comfortable model, but you also want a comfortable photographer. Yep. So if there's something as a model, if you're not comfortable with communicating it, that's the only way that you're going to get past it. Yep. And same with vice versa. Say the photographer, it's something, maybe a newer concept that they're not comfortable shooting, or what you're doing is something just, I guess, out of realm of what you wanted to shoot that day. If that's not communicated, then it might not be the best collab. I think it's best to talk it out. And like Tim said, usually after like 5 shots, like he'll invite you over, you can see the shots. So as a model, I can be like, oh no, my hair is looking funky, or change something up, or maybe my pose, or sometimes my face just sinks. So something like, bring back my emotion into it. Right. So I think that's also...
the model being able to see themselves is huge, right? And you don't have a giant mirror behind you, right? And they have an idea what they are. But, maybe there's always things that your own... I always say you're your own worst critic, right? Yeah. I might think the photo is phenomenal, right? And Erin or whoever I'm shooting with will come over and go, oh my God, I can't believe that I didn't, do this or whatever, and I don't like this part of my arm. Or
like, delete that now.
Whatever the case might be, right? But you want them to feel good that you're getting the shot that not only is the photographer happy with, but the model is too. And once you've seen a few of those, you can kind of relax and I'm assuming it helps you to relax and know that I'm going to get a good shot, right? Versus not knowing until the end of the shoot, right?
Yeah, and usually like when you work with somebody for a long time, you kind of know how they're going to move, or like what they find will look good too. Especially with lights. I feel like there's certain different, like you communicate what you're going to do with the lights. Mm-hmm. So I know I'm like, all right, if my eyes are up, it's going to come down. And like photographers that can communicate what they're doing while they're moving lights or moving props or the camera, I think that also helps convey like, this is the vision I'm looking for. And because the model might have an entire different vision in her or his head, about what you're shooting until you start communicating.
Exactly, right. And when I get whenever I get a model up there, I'll generally tell them, okay, well, sit on the box, or stand on the box, or do this, or lean over here, and then I'll give them mood, right? Or give me testy model vibes, or relax on a Saturday, you're over a beach. I try to set something up for them, but I don't want to get too specific with that, right? Because what I want them to do is, they might hate the beach, and I'm thinking, oh, they're relaxing, and they're having a great Sunday, and they're like, the sand is so dirty, and there's a little creature over there, right? Their cozy pace might be in front of a fireplace in the wintertime, right? So, does that help when I do that, or would you rather other photographers, I've seen say, okay, sit on the box, put this here, all right, move this over here, stoner face,
I like the room when you say, like, go to a beach, show me the relaxing vibe, because then it's like, all right, so maybe, what if my thing wasn't the beach? I love the beach, but if it wasn't, I can jump into a relaxing vibe. I'm like, all right, maybe it might not be the sand, but I do like water. Maybe,
you're at the pool instead, right?
Right, I'm at the pool or in the bathtub, anything, where you find relaxation. I prefer that over direct direction.
Right.
Because, I've been in the industry for a while, so there's been people that are like, move your foot move your nose just a little bit. And yeah, it can work, but at the same time, you kind of feel like Barbie, like you're moving, like, and then it doesn't give that same emotion where you're like, oh, show me you relax. It's like, okay, well, I know that relaxing is head to toe. It's my whole face, my whole body. Everything sinks. Everything feels nice. But if you're saying like one by one, I think one, it's time consuming, and two, it might just lose that like friendly relationship depending on how it's said.
Right.
Because sometimes photographers are like, turn your head, and it's like, okay. And then after they're like, great joam. And I'm like,
now you're all tense and it's going to show through.
Right. And so you look like a deer in headlights. Like, is this enough? Am I turned ever so slightly?
You get that fake smile.
Right.
Instead of, that nice, I'm in the place.
Because it also takes so much longer, I feel like, when you're directing each little thing to move. And by then, the face has dropped. The body is stiff.
You lose the first thing, right? Moving the second thing, right?
And I've had directors and photographers go by the centimeter. Like, move your hair just a centimeter off your eye, and it's like...
Too far.
Too far, yeah. Now everyone's in panic. And now I'm like, oh my goodness, I didn't do it right. Could not move that little. So, no, I do like the general direction of, like, calm environment or something exciting, you're scared. Like, using those adjectives, I feel like, get me in my zone better.
Right.
Because then I'm like, all right, this gives me room to explore that topic. Because my scared might be different than Tim's scared.
Right.
Like,
yep.
I think, scared, I'm like, but Tim's might be like...
Oh, absolutely. And, one of the things you just said too, you knew, at being in the industry for a while, that you pose from head to toe, right? And one of the things, I think, if you go back in my YouTube, maybe 3 years ago, was in my old studio there, and we did a quick video on, it's like, okay, give me, stay flat-footed and give me cute and pretty, right, with your feet together. You can't do it. It doesn't show on the face, right? And I said, now get up on your tippy toes, and now keep your feet together and give me cute and pretty. It works a little bit better. It's softer. Your facial muscles relax, right?
Yeah.
Same thing when I think we use the example of, okay, all right, spread your feet wide, or keep your feet together and give me strong and powerful.
Yeah.
You can't do it, and you can, but you can't.
It doesn't
feel right. It doesn't. It knows. Now spread your legs, get that wider stance, and now give me strong and powerful. And it feels. You can see the difference in the facial expressions, right? So I like that you brought that back up.
Yeah, I always think modeling is a head to toe thing, because I'll see pictures sometimes. It's just like the top half's really into it, and the bottom half
it's just there.
It's just there. Vice versa. You might have the bottom half, the feet look great, but then the top half is just stiff. So it's good to make sure that your head to knee, I call them head, shoulders, knees, and toes.
Right.
As long as all of those feel connected in the mood and the vibe of what you're shooting, you're more likely to have a better photo.
Right, no doubt. One last thing I think we go through today is, so once you get the shoot going, I've given you that mood, right? And you'll see, like, if the shoot that we did earlier, if you go and watch that video, and I'm always talking and, looking good, awesome, and amazing, keep it, and I like the vibe, right? Very short, and sweet, simple, right? And do you find, the amount of feedback that you see in that video, do you find that too much, too little? just right?
I'm definitely an affirmation person. So if someone says I'm doing a good job, then I'm like, all right, I'm going to keep going with what I'm doing or try to like tweak it, make it better. But if I don't hear anything and there's no feedback, then my heart's like,
am I doing it right?
Am I doing it right? Am I doing too much? Am I doing too little? Like, and then I start going like kind of a little off rail of what I think's right. Like I'm like, all right, like say there's complete silence. I'm like, I don't know if I'm doing a good job, but
so
I guess we'll roll with it.
So there's definitely a balance there, right? Between the person that you're talking about, okay, move it, have to send it to the side, and Erin being absolutely quiet. Neither one of those is good.
Yeah, and as long as comments are appropriate, they're fitting with what's going on. Like I think it's always good to give positive feedback to the models.
Yeah, using safe words, right? Cool,
Yeah.
pretty, good, nice vibes,
right.
Awesome, not ooh.
Right, I was gonna say there's definitely a line, and once that gets crossed, then it's like, oh, I'm not gonna work with them.
Yeah, no one's comfortable at that point. After that point,
right.
And you're just never gonna get the look you're looking for.
Exactly. So yeah, I think definitely feedback is important. Knowing, I guess, the art in general between the photographer and the art of the model. So.
All right. Well, Erin, I think that's kind of cover all the rounds of that little topic. So
yeah.
Until next time, we appreciate you joining us, and we'll do another one of these shortly.
Yes.
All right. Thanks.